Hey everyone, welcome to a special series on Refining Rhetoric. I was just at America Fest from TPUSA's event in December, and we got a series of interviews, and I just want to share those with you. So without further ado, let's jump in.
Your organization is known worldwide, and we certainly appreciate every facet that you do.
I do believe in what you're doing because I've seen it in my family.
I'm so excited about all the things that, Robert, you guys do with Classical Conversations. It's been a huge blessing for our family.
Grateful for the work at Classical Conversations. You're a leader and you have been in this movement for a long time.
We love Classical Conversations.
I do feel like I have a debt of gratitude to you, your family, all of CC for just the fruit that has come from CC.
I appreciate all that you guys do, both through this wonderful podcast and also through Classical Conversations, which I am convinced is the best education resource out there. Thank you very much for all that you do for the cause of Christ and for our families and for our children. Really, really appreciate it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Refining Rhetoric. Today I am here at AmeriFest, and I'm so happy to be with Kristan Hawkins, the president of Students for Life Action, and probably another handful of organizations that are related to protecting babies and empowering young people to be the pro-life generation. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we had a great victory at the Supreme Court, and then now we've got 50 states that we're battling in. So I know each state has different ones. I'm from North Carolina. I think we're down to 6 weeks or 12 weeks?
12 weeks.
12 weeks. So
your Republicans were a little bit too wussy to actually do the hard thing.
Yes, they were. We are trying to get
you're going to fight for a bill. We were involved in that battle, and you're fighting for this bill. And I'm like, the Democrats are going to vote against it no matter what you do.
Yep.
So why wouldn't you go for life at conception? Or at minimum a 6 week? Like, always go close enough to ending all abortion. And they're like, 12 weeks is good enough.
Yeah, we have a RINO problem in North Carolina.
You 100% have a RINO problem. Your Speaker of the House actually was the problem this year. Dustin Hall, even though saying he's pro-life, not allowing these bills to come up for a vote. Even now, we've got this situation where we've had two great pro-life champions introduce a bill to defund the Planned Parenthood state Medicaid dollars. They advanced it. Then somebody got the Senate president or somebody got Trump's endorsement. Now they're not bringing it up for a vote. Yeah. So between Berger and Hall, we've got definitely a problem because it's actually both passed both chambers, but it's got to go back, I think, to the House to get them to sign off in the Senate language. And now it's like, we can't get a vote. So yeah, we definitely have a RINO problem. Sorry.
No, I know.
You go back with your pre-scheduled questions.
I didn't have any pre-scheduled questions. But Berger, we're trying to get him out. I don't know that Trump's endorsement is going to help him. Okay. So
we'll be engaged. Students for Life Action will be on the ground door knocking.
Yeah. So tell us really what is the outcome after Roe versus Wade? Like, where do we stand as a country? Just basic overview.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people mistakenly thought that all we had to do was reverse Roe and Doe, the two decisions that 7 men handed down in 1973 that made abortion legal throughout the all 9 months of pregnancy. That was never the case. That was never our goal in the pro-life movement. We were always very intentional in our rhetoric about how that was only the beginning of the end. That was the first step, because at the moment Roe was reversed, now you had this opportunity to go state by state to make abortion unthinkable, a thing of the past. And that's what happened. I think, sadly, though, what we saw is a lot of pro-life groups focused all of their time and energy in Washington, D.C. Their headquarters are there. We're not too far from D.C., but their staff's there. And so a lot of folks didn't even think reversing Roe was possible. Like, right. I remember I was out there. I was the one who announced the decision at the Supreme Court. And I was out there that morning waiting for the decision to come down. And I had friends in the movement who came, did a little Fox hit, and then left. Literally thought it was, wasn't going to be a victory for us. And then publicly said that to the Washington Post and the media. And I think that's a huge problem that we have within our movement of forgetting that we serve a God who spoke the universe into existence.
Yes.
We serve a God who spoke the universe into existence. Of course we can reverse Roe versus Wade. Of course we should be preparing for that moment. And that's really why I launched Students for Life 20 years ago, was at that moment Roe is reversed. We have to have a trained army in all 50 states ready to go to state capitals. And I remember one time I was doing this event with Eric Metaxas and his wife, and it was lovely. It was at the Harvard Club in New York City. I know we'll never be invited back again because I brought my Planned Parenthood Go Fund Yourself pink bus in front of it. So I'm never invited back. But we had this great fundraising event, and one of my mentors took me aside at that event and was like, it was great. All the students were awesome, super motivational. But you need to stop saying when Roe is reversed, because it sounds like you're too naive. Everybody knows Roe's never going to be reversed.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's why we launched Students for Life, to have this army, because no social movement in the history of the world wins without having the largest, most well-trained army. And so, Roe's reversed. Immediately, we were in state capitals mobilizing students. So this January, we'll be the only pro-life organization in America that will literally have a lobby day in every single state house that has a legislative session, all 46 of them, because it's so critical. Our legislators see pro-life, see the pro-life generation, see pro-life students, know we are everywhere, and we're not going to let them get away with the little tricks they like to play sometimes.
Yeah, so it's mind-boggling to me that the Christian, Republican, or Democrat legislators will fund people who are the antithesis of our worldview. They are literally taking conservative tax dollars and giving it to people who hate us and want us killed, as we just saw in Virginia.
Yeah. No, and then show up at the pregnancy center gala later and say that they're pro-life.
Yeah.
When you've allowed the funding of the leading abortionists in the country. Even from a self-interested standpoint, I actually had Charlie Kirk this past February. We were leading this defunding fight nationally and trying to convince the White House to take this seriously, because President Trump had said in the election he wasn't going to support any ban on abortion.
Right.
And so I immediately said, well, fine, if you're not going to do that, defund Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest abortion vendor. They get $800 million of taxpayer dollars. They kill 400,000 babies. They literally lead the pack on all the lobbying in state houses in Washington, D.C. This is ridiculous. We keep funding our political enemies. So I actually had Charlie do I paid for the commercial. But I was like, it was on Fox and Friends every morning for 2 weeks. But I said, Charlie, I need you in this commercial. The president needs to see you. And Charlie's line I wrote for him in the commercial was, President Trump, stop funding your political enemies. Because even if you're not pro-life or you're not motivated to end abortion, it is asinine for Republicans to continue to fund their enemies. And that's what Planned Parenthood is. You want to talk about draining the swamp?
Yeah.
Every state house in the country that's dominated by Republicans immediately needs to defund Planned Parenthood. Stop giving them your state Medicaid dollars.
So one of the interesting things, my mom got pregnant with me before my parents got married, and she was a student at the University of Michigan. And so she went into the doctors just to get a checkup, and the nurse was like, "So are you here for an abortion?" And this was in 1983. And so, this kind of ideology has just been run rampant in our medical field. It's if you see a young woman, kill the baby.
Absolutely. And if you're a young black woman, it's almost assumed you're coming in.
Yeah.
That you will want to have an abortion. Racism is unbelievable there. And I think that's what's so sad is what we see on college campuses. And, when I always train our Students for Life groups, you've got a twofold mission on campus. It's to change hearts and minds of your peers who are being directly marketed to by the abortion industry, who wants to create a customer, right, for life and you. But then also you have to change and transform the campus culture so no woman ever again feels like she has to choose between her education and her child. Because even though at the University of Michigan or a state school, we have state laws, we have federal laws, the Pregnancy Non-Discrimination Act, Title IX, they're supposed to make accommodations for pregnant and parenting students. And they're there. But no one ever talks about it. Now, if you're a freshman, the freshman orientation, they tell you where the Planned Parenthood is. They give you free, crappy condoms that they know have an 18% annual failure rate. They do all this stuff to market the abortion industry, except say, this is the state and federal protections you as a pregnant woman and a parenting student have on campus. And so part of our job in the pro-life generation is we have to be marketers for what are the resources, what are the laws, the non-discrimination laws, what are the local non-violent healthcare alternatives in the community. We have to do all of that in the pro-life movement because they're not, they call themselves pro-choice, but what they really are is pro-abortion.
Yeah. Pro-death. So we're a homeschool organization. Of course, not everyone who watches the podcast is homeschooling, but what can
We're a homeschool family.
Awesome. What can homeschoolers get involved for Students for Life?
Absolutely. We have tons of homeschoolers for life chapters at Students for Life. We love homeschoolers because you can go to a state capitol on a weekday for your civics class, and they are terrified of you when they show up. Legislators are more afraid of high school students than lobbyists half the time.
Well, especially homeschool students, after Charlie's passing, we had a local memorial for him, and the local Turning Point USA chapter was actually led by homeschool students who were in our program. I didn't know it when they were speaking, but they spoke more eloquently than the elected officials that were there.
Especially
everyone noticed.
Classical conversations. I mean, I've never known a student who's gone through classical conversations who couldn't take me down in a debate any day of the week. So it makes me kind of jealous.
Yeah, I don't ask them to debate me.
No. I was asked one time to be on the panel of judges for one of the national debate competitions. It was all classical conversation students. And I was like, this is embarrassing because you all should be the judges of me. I should not be the judges of you.
Mm-hmm. Wokeandweaponized.com. Go there right now and get my new book. It outlines the history of American education and why the current public school system can't be reformed. It must be replaced. And this is a well-documented book. Thank you, Dr. Benjamin Merkel, for writing the foreword. And as Sean Ryan said, if you're a parent, read this book. Go to wokeandweaponized.com today. What do you hope to happen in 2026? Like what victories or what areas are we pushing forward as a pro-life movement?
Well, the pro-life movement is united on two main federal goals. One, the big beautiful bill that was passed, the budget bill on July 4th, signed into law by President Trump, defunded Planned Parenthood of 80% of the federal tax dollars for only 1 year. Because John Thune did not fire the Democratic-appointed parliamentarian in the U.S. Senate who stripped 10 years out of the budget bill that came from the House to 1 year in the Senate, an unelected, appointed by Democrat official.
Yeah.
So we have reconciliation coming up in January 2.0 where they have to pass another budget. We have got to ensure defunding Planned Parenthood for the maximum amount of time that's allowed by law is 10 years. In a budget reconciliation. They've got to keep the 10 years in there. And we've got RINOs in the House. We've got RINOs in the Senate. This is going to be a fight. If we do not, on America's 250th birthday, we will start refunding Planned Parenthood.
Wow.
So that's number one. Number two is chemical abortion pills. Chemical abortion pills are the leading cause of infant death in our country. They are 22 times more dangerous than the FDA has ever told us, according to an EEPC data of 800,000 plus medical health insurance records of women who've had abortions. 1 in 10 women who are taking these chemical abortion drugs are ending up in the ER with life-threatening complications. These pills are running rampant. We have a federal law called the Comstock Act, which bans mailing chemical abortion pills into pro-life states, or actually any state. That doesn't matter. The Biden DOJ, after Roe was reversed, sent out a memo saying, yes, we know this law is in the books, been on the books since 1890. We're not going to enforce it. So every single state, even if you live in a quote pro-life state, chemical abortion pills are flooding your state. A rapist can order these drugs. Boys can order these drugs. Minors can order these drugs. Anyone can order these drugs. We have got to get the Trump FDA, Trump HHS. I was literally on the phone at 7 a.m. with the Trump White House, one of our alumni who's now working in a very high prestigious position. We have got to get them on board. The problem is, and I'm going to be very real, a lot of people in the West Wing are not pro-life.
Sure.
It's very well known. Charlie Kirk was a dear friend. And one of the things, and I wish today, like when I'm speaking on stage, I could tell you all of the things Charlie did behind the scenes to ensure the pro-life wins we had.
Yeah.
But Charlie was an amazing advocate for our movement, and we do not have that right now. And the White House has found time to declassify marijuana. They've found time to do all these other crazy things. But where is the investigation of chemical abortion pills? Because if you investigate these chemical abortion pills, you will have no choice but to pull them from the market. We have got to stop turning our sewers and wastewater systems into open cemeteries. We've got to stop the killing of these children, these 700,000 children, that when they are aborted, I don't know, most people don't think about this. Where do the babies go in chemical abortions?
In the sewer system or in your
The mother is
your
told
water.
to get on the toilet, get in the bathtub, flush, don't look, and to flush these children created in the image of our Maker, down the toilet bowl as if they were human feces.
Yeah.
How can God bless a nation that continues to flush these children down the toilet bowl? So we have to take on that fight. The third fight we need to take on is some rhetoric we're hearing from kind of the Nick Friedises of the pro-life movement. And that is that in order to be pro-life, you have to put women in jail who've had abortions. And I will tell you, this is dangerous rhetoric. We've seen pro-life laws. We had a bill in Oklahoma to stop chemical abortion trafficking, meaning if a girl or a boy, a rapist, anyone who ordered chemical abortion pills into the state, we could sue the person shipping the drugs to basically put them out of business. These folks killed the bill in Oklahoma, claiming to be anti-abortion. Why? Because the bill didn't include prison sentences for women who've had abortion. This is not something that is going to move the needle. It's not something that's going to change hearts and minds. It's not something that's going to help us win the 2026 midterms or the 2028 presidential election with women. It's a non-starter to most people. And quite frankly, it comes across anti-Christian. Because our goal in the pro-life movement is to stop the killing. The goal in the pro-life movement is not to put women in jail.
Yeah, no, I don't know that society has definitely not moved to the point where conversation.
Get Republican congressmen in South Carolina to pass my life at conception bill to make all abortions illegal and to put abortionists in jail.
Yeah.
We could not do that this year. Why? Because the Speaker of the South Carolina House wanted to pass a gambling bill. Yet they wanted to pass a bill to put women in jail for 30 years. Why are we wasting time on something that isn't going to pass, isn't going to move the needle, and quite frankly, moves us back in the conversation of showing her that we love her more, that we care about her too. We want to save her child from the violence of abortion, and we want to save her. When I'm on college campuses debating, the two people that my bodyguards have to look out for the most are trans women.
Yeah.
So men who can't get pregnant, who somehow always get violent, and older women, 40 plus, usually 50 or 60 years old. Those are the two most violent people we see on college campuses. Why? Because these are women who had abortions 40 and 50 years ago who still are suffering from their abortions, have never sought healing, have never known the forgiveness that our Savior gives them when they ask for forgiveness. And that's a problem because we have a nation of walking wounded people that we want to cast aside and throw stones at.
Yeah, we definitely need to have the services there. We need to have the support. We need more Christians adopting, more Christians foster care, letting them know that the church is there. That I've had this problem with the church, that the church is not doing what church ought to do. And so people are looking for the government. They're looking to science. And so the church really needs to step up. And I appreciate you starting these chapters so that the members of the church can get involved.
That's right. We have a hard job. As Christians, we not only have to speak the truth, that every human being was created in the image of our Creator who spoke the universe into existence, is infinitely valuable, who deserves the right to life. We have to speak. We have to act. We have to do that boldly. But we also have to show and serve.
Yeah.
The abortion industry has it so easy. They're just like, yeah, go get it taken care of. Here's $300. Here's my social justice duty. They do nothing. It's a laziness.
Yeah.
Because walking alongside a woman who's experiencing this crisis, who's living with her boyfriend that's supporting her and her toddler son, who says, if you don't kill it, I'm going to kick you out in the streets and you'll be homeless. Serving her and stepping in and seeking true social justice with her is hard work. And it takes relationship. And you have to show her you love her. That's how we end abortion.
Yes, no, absolutely. And yeah, I think I've seen polling where actually more men support abortion than women. I don't know.
That's actually been reversed. And that's part of, that was one of the things that, I was so honored to work alongside Charlie on, is Charlie started speaking up. When Charlie started Turning Point, he never really talked about abortion.
Sure.
But Charlie morphed. And Charlie decided that he was going to start using this amazing platform that the Lord had given him to speak the gospel and speak the truth. And when Charlie started doing that, you saw huge swaths of young men actually move right on this issue. And today, young men are more right than young women. Why? Because we have young women who are still buying the lies of the second wave and the third wave of feminism that have told her she must kill her child in order to live the life that she's envisioned for herself. That unless she has access to a special surgery, she'll never be equal to the normative male body.
Yeah.
Not that she's a superhero, because, no offense, I can do 3 things you can't do: lactate, menstruate, and gestate. And I know you're very jealous about some of those. But
it's true. Yeah, we're equal pair working together to accomplish things. And when 2 people work together, it's much more fun than working opposition to each other.
And I think it's exciting to see young men, because when I started Students for Life 20 years ago, and I started debating on college campuses 20 years ago, you can see if my wrinkles and my gray hair, it's all from that. But it used to be that young men were like, I can't talk about this. I'm not going to talk about this issue. I'm a man. I can't talk about it. And I said, no, that's silly, right? Moral arguments do not have gender. People do, and there are only 2. It's very simple. So now it started to shift, but now we've got to go back. It's what's exciting what Erica was saying last night, that majority of attendees here at AmFest are women.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time ever, and that's the Erica Kirk effect, to have her leadership, because we've got to go back for the women. If we do not go back for those women, we do not convert women, bring them to show them. Not only do we have this amazing country that we've been blessed to live in, and we should all wake up every day feeling blessed, but that what we're trying to advance in the conservative movement, what we're trying to do as Christians in the body politic, is to save lives. It's to speak for dignity. It's to speak for the weak. It's to speak for the vulnerable. And I think, these groypers I was talking about that want to put women in jail, one of their big arguments now is we should just repeal the 19th Amendment. And it's crazy, right? And their argument is, well, since women started voting, the country's moving left. That's a true statement, very true statement. But the argument isn't to get 37 states to repeal the 19th Amendment, which would take 180 million voters. That's not the winning solution. Maybe the winning solution is to help our leaders, our elected officials, the GOP, the Republicans, speak to women about why conservative economic policies are best for her, whether she's single or she's married, she wants to be married, wherever she's at. What we have to offer is better. What we have to offer will make America great again.
Well, we have students, I'm sure, that want to get involved with your organization. How can they do so?
Go to studentsforlife.org and you can sign up. If you want to just send an email, just your state name, so Pennsylvania at studentsforlife.org or PA at studentsforlife.org. They'll immediately go to one of our full-time team members. We have been blessed to have over 100 full-time team members across the country who wake up every day determined to serve this pro-life generation and to ensure that we create the army that will abolish abortion in our land, making abortion completely unthinkable and completely unavailable.
Well, we've abolished child sacrifice before.
That's right.
We'll do it again. Amen.
Yes.
So if you've enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend. Join a local organization. Let's protect babies together. And until next time, God bless. See you next time on Refining Rhetoric.
Thank you for listening to Refining Rhetoric with Robert Bortons. Want more? Make sure to subscribe so you won't miss an episode. You can also follow us on social media to continue the conversation, and visit classicalconversations.com/rhetoric to find out how you can join a local homeschool community.